Hello and welcome everybody to the Monday Rookie League here at Trackalicious. We are at the lovely track here at Snetterton. I am joined in the booth by tonight Stephen Tomazic. Welcome, Stephen.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Monday night rookie extravaganza.
Absolutely. We're here at the lovely Snetterton circuit. As I said, it's going to be 2.9 miles of action tonight. 12 corners, 5 to the left, 7 to the right. Located in Norfolk, England. It's going to be an absolute thriller tonight. We have, I think it was 45 cars the last time I checked. It's still 45 cars as it stands, but I expect a few more by the end of qualifying. We are into it as it stands, though, so as we have it, 45 cars on grid, that is rookie numbers as we have it. See what I did there? Definitely didn't make that joke before the stream. Also, One Bigly already dropping a subscription. Welcome everybody in chat as we have Jeremy Cubbage being first well before anybody else. As well, Eric second, of course. Well, thank you, Eric the Boss Kakasa second. Beachley, welcome. Doc Milwee, One Bigly, as I said, gifting a tier 1 subscription there to Abyss Watcher. Thank you so much, Jacob Church. You're absolutely awesome. Lizzie, welcome. And, of course, Papa Milwee, Doc Milwee in chat as well. It's going to be some thrilling action. We got 2 races for you tonight. 2 doubleheader, doubleheader. 20 minutes on both race. No mandatory pit stops. It's just going to be 20 minutes of action. We currently have the white plates out on track, starting to set laps. We will hop in there momentarily. Karu, welcome. And Tony Danzig as well. Jacob Church, of course. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you guys are in this fine world. Steven, who are we expecting tonight in terms of pole position? I've been seeing, maybe in the Rookie League. Let's talk about the rookies here, because we've been seeing some big names pop up very unexpectedly here in the recent times.
Yes, we have. I see Larondi's been moved up from the rookies. He's now in the platinum plates, so that changes things up a little bit. I have a feeling I have a good feeling tonight about Casey Swanseeger. Casey Swanseeger he's been showing up to racing, and he's been doing really well. Another driver I would probably say would be Reggie King. Reggie King has moved up to the white plates as well. Oh, man.
One driver I will say to keep an eye on as well is Scott Sullivan. Definitely want to keep an eye on. AV6 Scott dropping a tier 1 sub for 8 months. Thank you so much, Scott Sullivan. And that's actually, in fact, funny that he did that. He's not buying my attention, I promise everybody, but AV6 Scott Sullivan is also one to keep an eye on here. He's looking to climb up into those podium positions and maybe make his name known amongst the white plates. We'll see tonight if he can manage to make that happen. As it stands, we are into the qualifying, though. We have currently a few drivers starting to set times out there. Of course, a couple disqualifications for quali bans. We have 156.3 is the pole position as we see it there. Tony Rodriguez coming across the line, the Spanish driver in the Jazzy Rods AMG. Starting off very strong in the 156.3. Miles Sewell, 156.6, and Steven. We're getting into it here. These times are flying in thick and fast.
Yes, they are. And I was watching the drivers throughout the practice session, and of the white plates, a name that popped out to me was George Elmer. He was running up in that P2, P3 area ahead of Miles Sewell, so he's got pace in that Alpine.
Definitely one to keep an eye on here tonight, as well as the current car we're looking at here, Darren Thomas in the Ginetta. I expect the Ginetta to be a really strong car to contend with here tonight.
Yes, Darren Thomas in that Ginetta was also doing very well. He was one of those drivers that was up in that P2, P3 with George Elmer. So I have a feeling we're going to have a really close battle between probably from P2 back to P5. All those drivers were doing really, really fast times. And I believe that was on practice race pace, not just quali pace.
And in chat as well, we have Lizzie saying that she is already hot. and she's still in the pit lane. It's a cooker out there tonight. 31 degrees out on track. Definitely one for a little bit of perspiration, no doubt, but as it stands, the pressure is on. There's 43 drivers currently. Actually, I'm not sure what happened to the other two. We might see them rejoining, but definitely a few drivers to contend with out there tonight, and some pretty decent names in terms of drivers that have been improving. Liz Alicea is one herself to keep an eye on. She has been making her way slowly up the grid as of recent in terms of finishing positions, and we'll see if she can manage to bring home a decent result tonight. Darren Thomas, though, P2 as it stands. Very nice job. 2.5 tenths off of pole position. Miles Sewell is not too far behind, about 35 thousandths off the pace there of Darren Thomas.
Yeah, these drivers are really attacking this track. Like I said, I saw George Elmer in that P2, Darren Thomas in that P2, P3. Tony Rodriguez, he kept a marginal gap ahead of these two other drivers, but marginal gap was about 2 tenths. I believe these two drivers could find that pace.
George Elmer in the Alpine. I would expect the Alpine to be quite the strong car here tonight. There's a few straights and a few, well, high-speed corners. I think the Alpine, honestly, I'm not sure what it specializes in. It's had so many BOP changes as of late. I'm not completely sure what the Alpine is good at. One thing I do know is the Camaro, currently sitting in P5, 6, and 8, is not looking the strongest here tonight, especially with the likes of Ilippo Rautsulainen down in P8 here as it stands, a driver that I think ended up in 4th position in qualifying last time around. Of course, that was on Laguna Seca, not too different. Well, actually, I shouldn't say not too different. It's a very different track, I should say. But still lots of curves, lots of corners, and very similar distance as well. Of course, I think Laguna is 2.6 miles, if I'm testing my memory correctly. Of course, we have here at Oulton Park a 2.6 miles, or excuse me, at Oulton Park, at Snetterton, my bad. We have 2.9 miles here.
Oh man, just George Elmer on this last attempt around, he was up on his delta by 8 tenths, which would have put him in that P1, P2 range for this race, and unfortunately gets sent out into the barriers at Murray's, the final turn. Oh.
Zuka, did you pick up a pit lane start from last week? I think that might be why that is, if you do have that. If it is a penalty from last race, that would explain why. I think that is how we are handing those out at this point. I think it's a very recent change here at Trackalicious, but it makes sense. And hey, Dan Brace here, you like that Camaro combo, the Camaro color combo? Dan Brace is an expert at this style of livery. Of course, he has been aptly dubbed the Iron Man Camaro. Of course, it all started with the Iron Man Alpine that he used to drive, and he has driven multiple cars. The Iron Man Porsche. Very, very fond of this color combination. This is a little bit darker, I feel, than his previous liveries, but it's simple yet sweet. Of course, there's a few good Camaro liveries out there on the grid tonight. Definitely Ilippo Rautsulainen as well in the Bomber number 666 that we'll check out a little bit later. Oh my goodness, Dan Brace. Swift end to that qualifying. The virtual checkered flag has fallen here at Snetterton. The drivers that are, or the white plate drivers that are on a lap are going to be allowed to complete their flying lap. If they do invalidate, they will no longer be able to start another one, or if they weren't on before. We also see the rookies coming out on track as we have quite a few DSQs. Those are all, I would assume, from the previous race. They are going to be pit lane starts. And welcome, Jeremy. How we doing, everybody? I'm doing wonderful myself, ready for some incredible racing here at Snetterton. We are taking a look here at Scott Sullivan, the most eager beaver to get out there on track, as he's going to be coming into the final sector now. Through Nelson into the interestingly named bomb hole. Go on board here, that there being the bomb hole. And through Corum in the final, or penultimate corner. The long, drawn-out right-hander. And Scott Sullivan now going to begin his flying lap here tonight in the Azure League AMG. Heading into the first corner now. It's going to be Riches. Will it be Rags or will it be Riches here? Looking for the braking marker off to the side there at the furthest arrow. Getting that car tilted in, opening that corner up very nicely, heading now towards the second corner into Montreal. Very tight hairpin, got to be extremely patient to get on the throttle, the back end wanting to step out at any possible opportunity. Now through Palmer. Very quick, speedy left-hander. The overtaking opportunities are going to be pretty thin throughout this one. Coming out onto the back a little bit here. This will be a good spot to go for it, although you're going to need to be confident and bold. Bit of an off-camber as we hit the apex there. Heading up towards Hamilton. Looking to crest that apex. Little bit understeery. That AMG is naturally going to be understeery. Scott not quite getting it tuned up there quite for that corner. Nice, though. Nice and smooth so far this lap. Besides that one error, I haven't noticed too much motion in the steering wheel. Now onto the back straight. This is where all the overtaking opportunities are going to be, into that back chicane. Trying to get the best run possible here onto the Bentley straight. As we approach the chicane now. It's a very tricky corner complex. Need to avoid that gigantic sausage curb on the inside. Coming up towards bomb hole now. Dips the tire there into the grass. Rounding through Corum now. The very patient right-hander. As I said before, third gear it's going to be. And he's going to ride that out at the top of the rev range. Looking for the braking marker on the side there. A little bit early on the brakes. Coming out through the final corner onto the start-finish straight. It's going to be the first time of the rookies here tonight. Comes across the line. What's it going to be? It's going to be P18. Nice job there. Scott Sullivan with a 159.0. Casey Swanseeger not too far behind. Jason Nauber as well. And Steven, these laps now flying in here. The red plates looking awfully competitive with some of these white plates.
Yes, they are. Now that they've had some time practicing for this throughout this series, they're starting to gain a lot more confidence behind the wheel of the car that they've chosen to drive with and the teams that they're driving for. So it's natural that the pace is just going to start to come to them as they learn the tricks and tips of the car.
And Scott Sullivan here still holding that pole position strongly. Jason Nauber has been one of the most improved as well throughout the rookie series. One thing I will say, the drivers that have been recently moved up to white plate, they are definitely down there in with the red plates. So we'll see. I'm not sure. I know a few of the drivers were maybe not too happy with the prospects of being moved, but we'll see how it ends up for them. As it stands, looking to improve that in the race pace. Definitely don't take anything away from Reggie King. Interestingly enough, it's both Adam King and Reggie King.
Yeah, unfortunately, the decision was made to move these drivers up to those white plates, but the pace that they've been showing shows to me that they've moved on from the rookie status, and they should now be running with the pros and the pro-ams.
It's a very track-by-track basis, I will say. Some of the drivers coming in here very good at certain tracks, which is absolutely awesome, but some of these more out-there tracks, like Snetterton, definitely not raced too often. I will say here at Trackalicious, I feel like we race it quite a lot. But
Snetterton, I don't think I've actually ever raced at Snetterton with Trackalicious. In either the GT3 or the GT4 series. But I have a strong dislike for this track just because of how long it took me to get my LFM license.
It's a tough track. Track limits is going to be a big factor here, as the corners are very easy to cut, no doubt. So far, the driver's been pretty good, though. Not too many exceeding times. And Snetterton is a very slept-on track, says Flexi Games. It is a very slept-on track, I will say. It provides some incredible action. Overtaking is quite tough here, but this track definitely rewards the more talented players, drivers, I would say.
And we have a new rookie leader, the 406 Porsche of Andrew Casey, coming in with a 158.612, followed shortly behind Scott Sullivan, who's on pace to set a really good lap.
Andrew Casey, unfortunately, actually invalidates this lap this time around. Potentially, though, got one more chance to come around and make the best of it. But got to give massive credit here to the Noobs R Us team for providing some drivers. Of course, the recent driver, Jason Nauber, graduated from the Noobs R Us junior team and is already moving on and competing with the likes of Casey Swanseger, Andrew Casey, and the lot. And it's just been absolutely awesome. Look at that. Even got a picture there of both of them on track.
Scott Sullivan just shot up the field.
Holy smokes.
He is now in P9 overall with a lap time of a 157.747. Where did he pull that out of?
I'm not sure. He's improving even more, though, which is really saying something. Scott Sullivan, I know I said it before the race, one to keep an eye on. Definitely one to keep an eye on now. This track looking extremely strong for him here in the League GT4 AMG. I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to top that time as it stands almost a full, actually over, no, almost a full second faster than Andrew Casey.
But like you said, he's on pace to improve, and Andrew Casey is improving, but unfortunately invalidates again.
Oh. David, I had one job. What was my one job? I have lots of one jobs, unfortunately, here tonight. And Vadik in chat, welcome, welcome. Thomas, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Element Future. Hope you guys are having a lovely evening, afternoon, morning as people pile in. Here we got Alpha as well. Sullivan predicting the podium and immediately delivering the result afterwards. We'll see. I think he will be able to hold on to that. It's going to be a tough time to beat, no doubt. As Alex Freeman here, 2/10 up on the time, goes a little bit into the grass, picking up some, well, grass on the tires. Not going to help with traction all that much here, coming through Sector 2 now onto the setup for the back straight. That, though, dead even with the Delta. Drivers actually hold on now. Benjamin Biddulph was improving massively, I thought, there momentarily. That might have been a glitch in the...
Yeah, I think that was a glitch, but Michael Cortez is set to improve his previous set lap time by close to 2 seconds as he rounds Murray's right now on the straight and keeps a nice valid lap. This will put him up into P27 overall.
And David,
which puts him in the 9th position in the rookies.
David, you tagged me. You had one job. It was to upload it properly into the Google Drive. That's your one job. I download them the same every week, or every time. Make sure you guys upload your liveries properly. Benjamin Biddulph on my timing charts keeps jumping up to the purple lap time, and it scares me every single time, but it's just, I think, a glitch in the HUD. For whatever reason, I've never seen that one before. The Noobs R Us Junior car, not quite going to be setting the pole position time, but is going to have a massive improvement coming across the line. Gains a position after gaining about a second on his lap, right behind the likes of Michael Cortez now. That will be the end there of the qualifying session for Benjamin Biddulph. Few drivers yet to go here as it stands. Seth Lincoln about a second off his Delta. We also have Monica Swanseeger currently down in P36. Great job there from Monica. Oh, wait, excuse me. P last on the timing charts. Nonetheless, though, P36 start there for Monica. As we can see her AMG floating there in space. You love to see it. Thank you very much to Paco ACC for the follow. Much appreciated. As we get ready here to get into it, we're going to meet our drivers. Vidik saying, cheering here for the KTM and a hydrate. Paco beating me to it because I'm going to need a little bit of hydration to get through this amount of drivers. Got 45 of them on the grid here tonight. We'll get a little hydration. And begin our grid rundown. As we have it here. Hold on. Steven, hold on. Not quite ready yet. As we get ready to get into it here, get all of the things going. Starting here in P1 is going to be the Jazzy Rods. Very on cue timing there. Number 55, starting in P1, Darren Thomas. In the Darren Memoji, Janetta. The P2 result, Miles Sewell bringing in the second row here next to Ilipo Rautsulainen in fourth. Dan Brace going to be in the Ironman Camaro in P5. George Elmer, sixth fastest, next to John Hawley in seventh. Alex Shen bringing up the eighth position. Scott Sullivan rounding out ninth here in the League AMG. That's going to be P1 for the red plates. Incredible lap time from Scott Sullivan. Justin Beachley in P10. Laronde is going to be 11th fastest in the AMG. The 317 next to Mike Burkov in P12. Luke Nelson, 13th fastest in the Aston Martin. Next to Alex Freeman in 14th overall, the number 14, but P2 in class. Aaron Miller going to be in P15 overall, the number 90 car, next to Jeremy Cubbage in P16. Alex Winchester, 17th fastest, next to Alexandre Afonso, the Portuguese driver, starting in the Maserati in P18. Andrew Casey is going to be in third overall, or third in class, 19th overall. Jason Nauber going to be bringing up 20th overall. The Noobs R Us AMG. Casey Swanseeger, 21st, next to Caleb Dimmock in 22nd. Kevin Johnson is going to be 23rd fastest, the number 24 car, next to Seth Lincoln at 24th, the Schwede Motorsport. We have Reggie King, 25th, the Waste Management AMG, next to Jeff Douglas in 29th. Michael Cortez is going to be in 30th position, next to Benjamin Biddulph in 31st. Jaeger Karu is going to be in 31st. Wait, what did I say? And anyways, in 29th, I think I got ahead of myself there. In 29th, we have Jaeger Karu, Adam King in 30th. Rally Duche going to be in 31st overall, next to Stefano Raleigh in 32nd. Brandon Mellenbach in 33rd. Stefina Blaskovich is going to be Blaskovich in P34, next to Lizzie Alisea in 35th. Monica Swanseeger bringing up 36th position. Devin Anthony in 37th. Tony Danzig starting in the pits. Mike Patrick in 39th. Krill Osinsev in the pits. Mike Hawk in the pits. Alexio Gappa in the pits. Professor Cornotis in the pits. Zane Bliskett in the pits. And Zuka Vienar in the pits. Drivers are underway on the outlap. 2.9 miles here tonight. Cars are underway.
Yeah, so the big the big starting point on this track that everybody has to watch out for is not actually turn 1. Turn 2 is the big one with that hairpin coming back around to turn 3.
As well as the corners here coming up. Definitely want to keep an eye on, but the back straight, that is where I think as well we're going to see a lot of drivers trying to set up every which way they can, trying to make the overtake happen into that back chicane, as the overtaking opportunities are going to be not too prevalent. Lap 1 is going to be your best chance, but remember everybody, you cannot win a race on lap 1, but you most certainly can lose it. Also a full onboard lap being redeemed from the Bazooka, and that's going to be for Aaron Miller. Showing some support there. We love to see that. Aaron Miller, of course, Viper GT on Twitch. If you guys are interested for some first-person perspective, we have quite a few drivers live streaming tonight, all of which can be found on stream. If you guys want, you can pop up the side-by-side streams. I know a lot of drivers like to do that, or a lot of people like to do that. Borzy, don't worry about it.
And if you want to follow along with the data of the live race, we have the pit wall up as well! ! Pit wall.
As well as it is pinned up in the chat, or up at the top of the stream. And as Nightbot is reminding us, over on SimGrid you can find plenty of other events. Of course, as it stands, we have our GT3 championship on Sundays. That's going to be coming up here. We also have our road to the grand finals. We'll just pop the calendar up real quick. Our GT3 GT4 multi-class has closed, and of course we're watching the Rookie League, which is not listed here on this calendar.
All right, looks like the leaders are starting to come around Bomb Hole and around Coram, heading up towards Murray. So I think we're starting to see them line up in that lovely 2x2 formation that you so love.
Yes, indeed. 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as they get ready to come around the final corner. And Element dropping a little bit of a hydrate. Caring about the commentators. You love to see it. Appreciate that, Element. As we get ready, rounding the final corner now. Tony Rodriguez in pole position. Darren Thomas in second, looking very eager in that Ginetta. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Join with me is going to be Steven Tomazic as we get ready to head down to the first corner. It's going to be Riches is the name of the first corner, but will it be Rags or will it be Riches? As we get ready to go green here at Snetterton, 2.9 miles, Norfolk, England, and we are green here heading down to the first corner. And it's going to be a really even start here up for P1 and 2 as we get ready to head down. It's going to be 2x2, and a great lunge there from the Aston Martin. Darren going to be trying to close that gap up as we see Ilipo falling back behind a little bit. Dan Brace coming under some pressure from George Elmer. Darren Thomas trying to take it to Rodriguez here in the first lap. He's not able to. Ilipo going down the inside there of Dan Brace is going to get the move done. I think Dan was going on the attack there. Ilipo able to hold on. George Elmer behind. All of these drivers going nip and tuck single file up in the front. We see the KTM there going for it. That's going to be Mike Burkhoff side by side with Laronde. Laronde forced to the outside there onto the grass, losing a little bit of traction. Tires not quite up to optimal temperature yet. In for the red plates, the timing charts are absolutely crazy as there's a bit of bumping and banging up ahead. That's going to be the KTM spinning a little bit there, managing to catch it. A great save there from Mike Burkhoff side by side with the Aston Martin. Here goes Luke Nelson. A little bit of contact. Both drivers forced it wide as Justin Beachley trying to go through. And my goodness, Steven, this is incredible. 3 wide as we continue on this first lap.
Yes, and surprisingly, it's been pretty clean. There's been a lot of bumping and banging, a lot of 3 wide going into corners. And surprisingly, everybody's coming out okay. Just like I said, a couple yellow flags of drivers going off onto the grass, but nobody's gone. Oh, as I spoke too soon. Stefano Rinaldi just got spun around.
Side-by-side action here from Darren Thomas. This is up at the front. Darren Thomas started in P2, has lost that position to Miles Sewell. We unfortunately missed that. We see Ilipo Ratsulainen battling with Darren Thomas as well. Dan Brace trying to get his nose involved as well. The Camaros trying to prove me wrong earlier. I said the Camaros weren't looking too strong here. They're looking to make me eat my words, and I honestly hope they do. Let's see these Camaros make this progress and make these overtakes. A little bit of air there from the number 71, the 716 that is. Off the track, unfortunately, but carrying on here with the battle, we see that Dan Brace getting a little bit closer and closer to the bumper of the other Camaro in front. Ilippo Rautsulainen, John Hawley trying to join the party as well in his Camaro. And the little Alpine that could, sandwiched in the center of the big old V8 action.
Yep, and Luke Nelson has made it around Scott Sullivan into the P9 position, but unfortunately, everything seems to be still going okay. That's the only position lost by Sullivan so far, but he's maintaining that P1. But we have, who's Alex Freeman is in the P2 position, only 1 second behind Scott Sullivan.
My goodness.
In that rookie class.
Great gains, as you're right. I've absolutely kind of forgotten a little bit there. My apologies of the red plates. Got really entranced with the action up front. Scott Sullivan is doing an excellent job here. A bit further down, as you said, Alex Freeman 1 second behind, but with the car in the middle, that's going to be Mike Burkov in the KTM. Behind them, Andrew Casey. A bit further down the field, but not far at all, as we can see this entire gaggle of cars coming down the back straight.
Am I reading my timing page right? But Alex Freeman, Mike Burkhoff have gained 32 and 23 positions respectively.
Definitely not correct. Mike Burkhoff has gained 1 position, started in P12. Alex Freeman started in P14, has gained 2.
Okay.
Your data sheet is... I'm not sure what it's taken.
The guys in the truck need to fix that one for me. Wow.
Yeah, not quite that incredible spectacles from those drivers. I would not put it past them, but not quite this time around. Mike Burkhoff trying to take the position here from Scott Sullivan. Scott Sullivan wants anything but that. The position loss to Mike Burkhoff does not mean much in itself. However, it puts him right into the grips of Freeman in front.
We have a healthy battle, a healthy vehicle train from P3 all the way back to P9.
Oh my goodness, sorry Stephen to interrupt here, but we see Mike Burkhoff getting the move here done potentially onto Scott Sullivan. As Scott Sullivan's made a bit of an error, picked up some marbles, he goes wide again, and that's going to put him under threat basically immediately from Alex Freeman. Can Alex Freeman capitalize and take the lead of the red plates here? I'm not sure. I think he is going to gain some good ground. Needs to keep an eye though on Laronde behind. Laronde, of course, is in the white plates. Not really necessarily the fight he's looking for, but he goes wide, unfortunately. He's actually going to hand that position to Laronde. Is he trying to use that faster white plate to maybe take advantage potentially of Scott Sullivan? I'm not sure. Laronde, it's an interesting decision from Freeman nonetheless, as it didn't look like he fought that too much. He goes a little bit deep. Laronde, though, might just be on a different pace. Bit of contact, as you can see there. Lizzie Alicea, I think, getting involved in that. Steven, what happened there?
I don't know, but watching in the background, it looked like Brundle took another victim of light grays of that sausage curb, has sent somebody off. I did not see who that was, though.
We also have a full onboard lap from Aaron Miller. Let's not forget about that. Aaron Miller is a bit further behind. We'll get him a little bit later when potentially he's got a bit of a battle going on here. Alex Freeman is gaining in that McLaren on Laronde, as Laronde has gone off. Managing to keep his foot in it, though. Deep goes Winchester in the AMG in the back. Trying to gain some moves here on P12. Or excuse me, P13. And Hydrates being redeemed from Sharpenberry. Sharpenberry, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, sir. So once again, we have battles all over the place. Reggie King is attacking the bumper of Nauber, Jason Nauber, in that 27 AMG. Who's then himself attacking Caleb Dimmick for the P21 position. And like I said, there are vehicle trains all over this track, and they are creating awesome action as we just now see Aaron Miller losing position to Alex Winchester.
Not quite, actually. Catching up with Alex Winchester and looking to take the fight to him. We're going to use that onboard now as Aaron Miller is going to attempt to go side by side into the chicane. The inside is open, plenty of room given. And look at that, Aaron Miller is through, but is he too deep? No, I don't think so. Actually, the switchback attempt from Freeman, and we'll get a third person here as we're side by side. Heading on to the back straight now, or the back curve, excuse me. Aaron Miller in the Viper Racing is going to have the inside line come the end of this corner, but is he going to be far enough ahead? He needs to be careful from Jeremy Cubbage behind as we pop back on board. The overtake not quite able to happen just yet. Aaron Miller, though, head back down, gaining here on Winchester as he looks to the outside potentially here. Gaining, little look to the inside. That's going to be a bit ambitious, bit too far back, but is that going to force the AMG deep? That's going to give Aaron the opportunity. He's been looking for it, but he clobbers the inside curve. Oh no, onto the grass he goes. That's going to allow, actually it doesn't allow Jeremy Cubbage to go side by side somehow. Aaron keeping his foot in it fully and able to keep Jeremy Cubbage firmly behind. We see the Noobs R Us team, Andrew Casey is caught up as well. This little train of cars is getting to be a little bit more than a little, but still gaining on Winchester we go. Slipping and sliding is the McLaren. Aaron Miller here looking quite planted. Double yellow flag being waved. That's going to be just up ahead. The 621 actually returns to the garage. That was Rally Duce.
And Alex Freeman has made it around Scott Sullivan, but Scott Sullivan is trying to attack and try and get that position back. And we have in the back of the pack again, Seth Lincoln is attacking Reggie King. This train right here is producing some awesome racing.
Oh, and Jason Albert is off.
Yep, giving that position to Reggie King and Seth Lincoln, and still falling back into the field, gives it up to Devin Anthony as well.
And his fellow Noobs R Us teammate, Noobs R Us junior teammate. We're going to go side by side, actually. Jason Nauber and Casey Swanseeger. A little bit of bumping and banging, some team infighting. Rule number 1 is don't hit your teammates. Come on, guys. Jeremy Cubbage, the team principal, is in the race, of course, and not able to, well, get on the radio and tell these drivers to get in check. The two AMGs able to fight it out. Devin Anthony, is closing in as Justin Beachley rejoining the track, but a big send from Jason Nauber. I think that was, or was that Casey? I think that was Jason. A little overly ambitious from behind, unfortunately, ends up making contact. The Constantina effect, he was not ready for. A few drivers being made contact with there. And go ahead, Steven.
But that was a very questionable rejoin by Justin Beachley, though. Driving across the grass all the way around Quorum and then rejoining at Murray's. I don't know what he was thinking with that. That's probably one of the reasons why that send into Murray's was done, because he didn't know what was going on, and he was trying to watch it in his peripheral.
Yeah, that's unfortunately one. We don't have stewards here in this league, but that is going to be one up to the discretion of those two drivers to talk it out afterwards. Wide, way wide goes Tony Danzig. Unfortunately there, Adam King, Casey Swanseeger, and Jeff Dallas able to easily slip through with plenty of room between them. The Precision Motorsports of Jeff Dallas currently down in P28 as it stands. P27, actually. Why do I have differing results here? I think he's in P27. Interesting.
We have Alex Shen attacking on the outside line of Quorum, trying to get around John Hawley. Unfortunately, could not make the pass stick going into Murray, and is now stuck back behind John Hawley.
Jason Nauber here is eager to make that ground back up. He got a little too eager, in fact, ends up sending himself slightly onto the grass where he ends up losing traction. Benjamin Biddulph is, whoa, what avoidance, but I'm not sure Casey Swanseeger got avoided, and big contact from the Noobs R Us team. 3 Noobs R Us cars involved in one incident. What has happened here? We are currently following along with Casey Swanseeger as we see a car going off. I think it clipped him just, and a big hit from his teammate as well.
Yeah, Jason Nauber has come into the pits, and he has massive damage to the front end of that AMG.
Yeah, that almost, I will admit, one big, or Jacob Church, that did in fact look like netcode. Hard to tell from the angle, though, that we had. We were a little bit high up from that one, but I will admit, Alexio Gappa did come off rather well from that and not really affected too much. What could have been netcode, well, rather well. He was mid-spin, but it didn't look like it affected him. The Noobs R Us team going to have a serious debriefing after this one. Jeremy Cubbage. Yeah, he's going to have a word with his drivers, I would imagine. Monica Swanseeger, unfortunately, off here in the Bunberjack. An absolutely awesome livery. Let's take a look here at the livery presented by Monica. As you can see, Monica, the Portuguese-Canadian driver, with an absolutely awesome livery. You got to give some credit where credit is due here. The Tim Hortons inspired livery. Can you tell she's Canadian? I'm not sure you can. Currently sitting in 42nd position.
I wonder if it smells like maple syrup in the cab of that AMG.
I feel like Monica Swanseeger just naturally perspirates maple syrup. So yes, I presume the cab of that AMG is reeking of maple syrup as it stands.
And we have George Elmer making an attack now on John Hawley. What happened to Alex Shen? Alex Shen is a little bit further behind, and Elmer is making a push in that Alpine.
And one bigly, I like the rabbit. I do like the rabbit as well. George Elmer on the attack, and almost a little bit too much so. Getting very, very uncomfortably close to the bumper there of John Hawley. And Eric Papa J, is that Jeremy Cubbage that you're talking about? A livery that I do want to take a look at some point here as well is the John Hawley livery. That's Darren Thomas, who was our P2 starter, off in the grass and losing positions rapidly. Down to P5 we go.
Yeah, it looks like he unfortunately was a victim of Brundle and Nelson, that chicane, and it just sent him off. As we now have a battle for the lead, Miles Sewell has caught up to the bumper of Tony Rodriguez. He's now 0.2 of a second behind, and he's making an attack going into Montreal.
Forzio with a full onboard lap. Miles Sewell here, though, on the charge currently, trying to get that P1 position. He's running out of laps, though, as it stands. We're already down to 3 minutes and 44 seconds left in this race. Lizzie Alisea, full onboard lap. We might have to wait till next race, honestly, for that one. In fact, I think we will, Forzy. Let's do that one in the next race. Remind me, please. As we are already, like I say, down to the wire here. And the P1 battle is unfolding in front of our eyes here as we see Miles Sewell driving the wheels off of this Aston Martin. It's been a while since we've seen an Aston up at the top. Miles looking to change that here tonight. Tony Rodriguez in that AMG, I think, took the race win last time around, if I'm not mistaken. At least I remember they qualified on pole at the very least. And Lizzie, the only noob driver that hasn't gotten in trouble, I think she had an incident also.
A little bit further back, Alex Shen has caught back up to George Elmer, and John Hawley is now trying to make something happen as they go 3 wide down Bentley Straight, heading towards Brundle.
Oh my goodness, 3 does not go into 1 here. We're going to make it 2 into 1 potentially. It looks like the Camaro is getting rolled almost. A 4,000-pound car has almost ended up on its side after taking that sausage curb. Darren Thomas comes off even worse than John Hawley. We need to go back and watch that again. Oh my goodness, let's catch. This is going to be the perfect angle here to watch.
How did he not roll that car?
Oh, I think it was he made contact there with Darren Thomas, using Darren Thomas as an anti-roll bar. Not quite what the factory had intended when adding those, that's for sure.
No, it was not.
Oh, those Duke boys are at it again. Yes, indeed. Oh.
Wow.
Safety car, safety car.
And Miles Sewell, they have one more lap after this, I believe. Yes, they're going to have one more lap after this. I'm getting that from race control. And Miles Sewell will have one more chance at getting P1 from Tony Rodriguez.
Interesting. So the pressure will not be done. The action is, oh my, Mike Burkhoff driving straight off into the grass there. That was interesting. John Hawley going to be happy, though, to take that position. So is Laronde. Actually, I think that might have been a disconnect from Mike Burkhoff, unfortunately, as he has left the server. Reggie King here in the waste management, trying to dispatch of Seth Lincoln here. We'll see if he can bag this up. Battling with the rookie, I think that's P4. Alex Freeman currently in second. No, Alex Freeman in the lead of this race in terms of the red plates. When did that happen?
That happened back around, I believe, lap 4 or 5.
That's how observant I am.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it away.
I did make mention of it. But we have Miles Sewell. Once again, this is his last chance. He's now attacking Tony Rodriguez as they come around Riches, heading up towards Montreal. Miles is opting for the wider route, hoping to get that cut in underneath. Does not make it happen. Now they're going down into turn 3. Miles still hot on Tony Rodriguez's tail.
Yeah, Tony Rodriguez is going to be hard to shake him out of this rear wing mirror here. Inside is going to be looked at from Miles, but it's just going to be a look. That's it. Deep goes the AMG, though, and the move is going to be opportunistic. He heads down the inside. There's going to be a little bit of rubbing.
A little bumping.
As they're going to continue side by side in through Sector 3. Enough room being given, respect from both drivers. The AMG being forced a bit wide. Down the inside, though, late on the brakes goes the AMG, but was it too late? Onto the rumble strips he goes. He's going to keep with it, though. The switchback of the dreams here from the Aston Martin is going to be able to secure the position. The AMG getting a bit tail happy, and that is going to be that. We have a new race leader, Miles Sewell, on the final lap. Has done it. He has dethroned Tony Rodriguez here. My goodness, the 503 Aston Martin here. A few more corners to negotiate before the end, though. It's not over until it's over.
But Tony Rodriguez just dipped a tire into the grass coming out of Nelson, and I think that's gotten his tires a little bit dirty. His tail was wagging a little bit going through Bomb Hole. Now they're going around Coram, coming up to Murray's, which is the final left-hander, and I believe Miles Sewell has the win.
Miles Sewell to the line. The 503 Aston Martin led the race for one lap, but it was the one lap that mattered. Comes
and we're
across
going
the line of the
3
checkered
wide
flag.
again down Bentley Straight. They've backed out. Whoa. Watching another battle between Justin Beachley and Caleb Dimmick.
Bit of contact from behind those two. Not sure what that was. Justin Beachley, though, currently coming through the penultimate corner now on to the final. Is it going to be enough? He's trying to go for the move. He's too late.
Big crash coming around Corum. It looked like Dallas. Oh, man. Dallas, King. I couldn't see who else. Unfortunately, Lizzie Alisea was involved in that crash as well. No.
Oh, Lizzie gets clipped from the Camaro up in front. Unfortunately, not much she could have done there. It's a very, very ambitious spot to try to be lapping a back marker. And unfortunately, well, we see what happens. But
wow.
Great race, though, from Miles Tony Rodriguez and Ilipo Rautsulainen coming across the line. Alex Freeman as well, pole position. Well, first place, I should say, not pole position, excuse me. First place for the red plates as the driver's still coming across the line to finish this one up. P9, though, overall for the rookie, and a great result at that. Not to mention Scott Sullivan down in P2 started in the first position for the red plates, not able to take it to the end, though. Andrew Casey with a very respectable result as well, the 406 in P3. And she's going to rant in voice. Yeah.
That was a lot of action happening on that last lap. That was some amazing racing. Unfortunately, a little bit unclean, but made for great spectating.
Also, Roofless, welcome. And yeah, some incredible spectating there tonight. As we have our final driver to come across the line there, the Bunberjack of Monica Swan-Seeger. In the game, still not over, apparently. We have this happen again. I'm not sure. I think all drivers have come across the line according to the data.
It might have been somebody who came back into the, or took the tow back to the garage and did not cross the line.
I think one of them is Mike Burkov, the 74 car, who's caught up with the pack. I'm assuming these are the two we're waiting on. But nonetheless, great racing. We got one more race to go. Everybody, make sure you guys don't go anywhere. One more qualifying. Going to be 20 minutes of qualifying, followed up by another 20-minute race. 10 minutes for each split. Lizzie going to be looking to make the ground back up after that drive, no doubt. Needs to turn that red haze into passion out on the track, and we're still racing for some reason. Why don't we pop back in the booth, Steven? While we wait for this, as I'm not sure what is going on in the game. Let's
Yeah, unfortunately, race control is not giving us any information at this time.
And roughly, she mad. Yes, I can imagine so, but that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Let's remember that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that emote is very fitting, but that's okay. Yeah, welcome back to the booth, everybody. Of course, Steven Tomazic joining me tonight. And the session is finally decided to move on. Lovely. We are going to move over to the next qualifying now. Or is he... Support, yes, as well. That's how it goes sometimes. That's racing, and you know. But looking forward, though, into the next qualifying. Definitely ones to keep an eye on for the red plates. Again, Scott Sullivan with a pole position result in the first race. Can he keep it on into the second? That's going to be the question. We also have, well, he didn't end up winning the first race. He's going to be looking to take that away, I would imagine. But we had the Alex Freeman, I think it was. Yes, Alex Freeman, who managed to take the win for the red plates last time around. We also, like I say, Darren Thomas going to be looking to make a recovery drive after starting in P2 and dropping a few positions from the beginning. Hydrate for Lizzie. Wow, not even a hydrate for us. All right, I see how it is.
Wow.
And Forzy with an onboard lap. For Lizzie, Vadik, we already have a Lizzie onboard lap in the queue. If you would like to change that over to another driver, feel free. As, well, I'm running low on water here, but we got enough. Forgot to refill my bottle before the stream.
And we now have the drivers rolling out onto the track. We have the white plates out first once again for this session. They're led by Ilippo Ratsalainen, followed closely by Miles Sewell, and right behind him is Dan Brace.
Also, you guys, judging the size of my water bottle again, it's an average-sized water bottle, everybody. Remember that. It's an average-sized water bottle. It's not a gallon jug, it's a half-gallon jug. There's a massive difference, a 50% difference, in fact.
I don't know, that looks rather large.
It's got some good insulation to it, man. I can leave this thing out in the sun for a good 25 minutes at the very least. It's a very specific number, I know. Water is so cold. Why don't we move over into the race session? Back into it we go. Enough of my average-sized water bottle, everybody.
Still looks like a gallon. Doc Mill.
As it stands, that's 2 onboards for Lizzie. Yes, we can do 1 in qualifying and 1 in the race. Why not? That sounds like it works. We also need to rehook up the Pit Live, or pitwall.live. Pitwall is back at it. If you guys do want to check out !Pitwall in chat for watching a race unfold with data in front of your eyes. Absolutely incredible service they offer over there, and you guys can do it for free.
Alright, so we have Ilippo has now come across the line. He's on his way through Riches right now, going up the straight up towards Montreal. Once he comes around that hairpin, he's going to be heading down towards turn 3, which, if you don't get it right, can send you off. Looks like he's taking it a little bit on the conservative, wider side. Now he's going up to turn 4, Agostini, which is another hairpin. You gotta be careful and you gotta be patient on the gas. Comes out good exit. On his way now up towards Hamilton. Good apex on Hamilton. Now he's heading down into turn 6 and turn 7 complex. And he's looking pretty stable. Now coming around Williams. Back onto the Bentley straight. Good exit out of the Bentley straight. He's now pushing that Camaro over to the left, the right-hand side of the track to make the left-hander at Brundle. Good apex at Brundle. Good apex at Nelson. Keeping it clean. Keeping good exit speed. Now coming into the bomb hole. Dips those tires off into the dirt a little bit. He might have lost a little bit of time there, but now he's onto that long curve of Coram, turn 12. You have to be very patient. You don't want to get too fast on the throttle as he's now making his way through Murray. Does he keep it on track? Yes, he does. As he comes down the front straight across the finish line to set a time of 1:57.287, which is immediately bested by Miles Sewell, which is then again immediately bested by Tony Rodriguez.
Yeah, not quite the greatest time there from Ilippo. Definitely a bit of time left on the table. A few times went wide throughout that lap. A little bit, just a little shaky at first. Maybe not quite getting the heat into the tires just yet. The bomber and not able to not quite at cruising altitude just yet, looking to maybe gain some more time. Third position, though, is holding quite strong, but still the 157s definitely a bit more on the table there for Elipo, as they were at the 156, I think 5 or 6 in the last race. Miles Sewell, though, and Tony Rodriguez looking to set stonker of laps. Tony Rodriguez currently in pole position, the Spanish driver, with a 156.3 as it stands and gaining. He still has a bit more to go here on this lap, about halfway through it. Definitely one to keep an eye on as well here is going to be Darren Thomas in the Darren Memoji car. Thank you to Floppy G77 for the follow. Much appreciated. And a hydrate being redeemed there from Roofless as well. And Lizzie is not quite out on track yet. We'll get to her when she is out there, as she tries to locate a desk fan or air conditioning unit, and a hydrate as well being thrown the way of Lizzie.
Tony Rodriguez just invalidated his last lap, and Miles Sewell is set to put down a really good lap time, which is going to bring him really close. It's coming to the line. Does he have enough to get past Tony Rodriguez? He does not. Loses out by 7 thousandths of a second. Tony Rodriguez is able to maintain P1 in qualification, but they still have 2 more laps to. Now Miles only has 1 more shot now that he's unfortunately invalidated coming out of Riches.
Yeah, he got a little bit maybe too excited there at the prospect of that pole position, and he knows that he had it. He knows it was there for him. Unfortunately, he caught up with Elipo there at the end of the lap, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. The traffic giveth and traffic taketh away. Tony Rodriguez on an invalid lap as well, so that's a little bit of peace of mind for Miles. He knows he has that 7 thousandths in the bank. He just needs to find it here. 1 more try, he's going to get at it. Tony Rodriguez, though, he's also going to get another try. That is Dan Brace behind, gaining 3/10 currently through the middle sector. To the line, though, is going to be the number 2 car next to cross it. Currently sitting in... Where are they? Currently sitting Adam King 1 second down off their time in P31. Actually, they're not a second time. They have not set a time yet.
And George Elmer bumping his way all the way up to P4 has gotten around Elipo, but Ilipo's set to best his last best time. Darren Thomas also looking to fight amongst the top 2, where he is up there with about a 10th and a half behind Miles Sewell on this current attempt on his lap.
George Elmer here looking to maybe, like you said, get into the contention here. He's currently 3/10 up, was 5/10 up. Lost a few there through the middle sector. Gaining it, though, back steadily. Miles Sewell doesn't have much to gain, and he has so far gained enough. He's got plenty of lap to go, though, as it stands, just starting it. It's 7 thousandths to go. Of course, the human eye blinks at 2/10 of a second. So that is quite tight margins in terms of coming across a track for 2.9 miles through 12 corners. Darren Thomas has called an end to his qualifying session. P3 is going to be the best he's got. Elipo as well. He is going to call it there. 4th position is it for him. George Elmer might be able to take that from him here, as he is gaining a good bit. He's a bit further back. Actually, no, he's about to come across the line, excuse me. As he heads towards it now. Is it going to be enough to dethrone Elipo? Maybe even enough for Thomas. Not quite enough for Thomas, but does get the job done on Elipo Ratsulainen, who didn't quite wasn't able to put the time in that we expected from him, that's for sure. And Miles Sewell, he's going to be one of the next to come across the line. Tony Rodriguez behind him. Tony is not gaining currently. They are switching deltas, though. It's very, very tight as it stands.
This is going to come down to Murray's corner. Who can get the best eggs out of Murray's will get, I believe they will get P1. As Miles, oh man, the deltas are all over the place between these two. They're so close.
Miles is deep into the final corner. That's not going to help his exit. He's losing time onto the start-finish straight. I'm not sure he's even going to gain enough time to take the pole position. He comes across the line, and it's not enough. So Tony Rodriguez comfortable.
Keeps it.
Comfortable by 52 thousandths of a second. Incredible.
And we now have the rookies coming out onto the track.
Still some white plates out, though, able to gain on their lap times. Dan Brace here is going to be one of the final ones to finish. And Alpine power. You got to love the power of that 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. Of course, there's a whole variety of different engine cars out there tonight. Surprisingly, though, I have not seen a Porsche. There are plenty of Porsches. I take that back. They're all in the rookies, though. The white plates don't have any Porsches. That's really interesting.
No, they do not. We have the outliers tonight are Jaeger Karu in the Alpine. We have George Elmer in the Alpine, Darren Thomas in the Ginetta, and Andre Afonso is in the Maserati tonight.
And Jeremy Cubbage dropping a new PB. Love to see it. 157.9. Just breaching into it and gets the position on Aaron Miller by a few thousandths of a second. You love to see that. Zuka across the line, 8th fastest for the V10 Audi. And Thomas, are you the only one in Ginetta? Yes, you are. And you're looking quite strong out there tonight. Can you bring it into the race, though? That's the question. Scott Sullivan, he's going to be asking himself the same question, though. There's actually a car in front of him this time around, and that is going to be Lizzie Alicea. Let's get involved here with our full on-board lap. Lizzie is the first one out to begin here. Coming now into the first corner. Down to 4th gear. Back on the throttle. A little early there. Hesitation from the gearing there into 3rd. 4th, climbing back up towards Montreal into the hairpin. Down into 2nd. Can hear that straight 6 engine. Sounds amazing. Accelerating on towards the curve here of Palmer. And now towards Agostini, start of Sector 2. Looking for the braking point off to the right-hand side of the track. A little bit early. And actually, Scott Sullivan getting caught out by that. I think Scott Sullivan's going to back out from that lap. Or is going to maybe go for the overtake. I'm not sure. Let's hope it's not the second one. Now approaching through... Is it Augie's?
I believe it is, and then heading now up into Williams.
On to the Bentley straight. We're going to see an AMG come by here potentially. Scott Sullivan looking to get by Lizzie Alicea here. Oh, it's going to be side by side into the chicane. Lizzie is going to brake a little bit early there and back off. Oh, but Scott loses it, and Lizzie has to get on the brakes. There was a nice and juicy gap behind the number 621 car that had Scott Sullivan's name on it. But, well,
unfortunately, just getting a little impatient.
Yep. I understand from Scott's point of view, but, you know, definitely can learn from that one in the future. They have plenty of space there behind. And Lizzie does come across the line to set a time, though I don't think that's representative. Rally Duce behind as well. Lizzie,
Okay.
we're definitely going to see an improvement on that lap. The driver, though, for pole position as it stands is Jason Nauber. The number 27 Noobs R Us driver, first position. Currently, Casey Swanseeger looking to make his gains as well.
Jason Nauber currently is 4.5 tenths up on his delta. If he's able to continue that pace, it'll put him up into that P15, P14 range.
V, welcome. Happy to see you here, V. And John Hawley throwing some energy the way there of AV6 Scott. He's going to need it. And Scott as well does have an incredible livery. And yes, Flexi pointing out as well, Jeremy Cubbage and Nelson split by 0.02 of a second. Absolutely awesome to see here. The grid is so tight amongst these rookie and non-rookie drivers. I love this league so much. And if you guys are interested in signing up for this league, it is available over on SimGrid. You can find the link in the chat if I can spell it correctly. It's because it was just sent by Nightbot. I was a little bit slow. Nightbot is actually ahead of me on this one. So make sure you guys check that out over on SimGrid. If you guys want to sign up, the league is full, but don't be afraid to sign up as a reserve driver, because as you can see here, we do not have 50 out of 50 drivers. Any reserve drivers would be able to participate in this one. Though we did have full signups, like I say, make sure you guys get in there for that. If you guys are thinking about it, we got people that are on a gamepad as well. Benjamin Bidoff driving in the Noobs R Us Junior team on a controller. We also have Jace Wright, not in this league, but in our recent Sunday leagues, he has been putting in the absolute smashing results. Actually took the win on Sunday with a controller. So if you guys are thinking about getting into sim racing, even if you have a gamepad, I would highly recommend taking a look here at Trackalicious, where we have some amazing racing, where we try not to, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's racing for everybody, right? We try to help people learn. No stewarding on this one. We try to keep everybody very clean. In fact, this is the cleanest league we have, which is ironic. But it's just how it goes, you know? These drivers are ready to learn, and that's what we want here at Trackalicious. Forzy on a gamepad as well, Ashley Forrester.
These drivers, they're not only ready to learn, but they're ready to learn how to race with a bunch of other racers out on track. With the 43 drivers that we have right now, it brings in a lot of factors that a lot of these drivers are now learning how to pass cars, allow themselves to be passed safely, and it's just fun to watch this series.
And Zane Bliskett joining us late. I'm not sure Zane was in the last race. Able to make the second one, though, is showing his pace now up to where'd he go? P2. There he is. I just lost track of him. Yeah, right in front of Casey Swanseeger. 0.2 separating the two of them.
Sorry,
P3. You're right.
Jason Nauber dropping a steamer at 157.87. Shoots him up into P13 overall, with Scott Sullivan following behind in P2, currently in 21st overall.
And Flexi asking, didn't last race have like 50 cars? Yes, we had race 1 had 50 cars. Race 2 had 49 cars. Race 3 had 50 cars. We're here at race 4 tonight we have only had, as I said at the beginning of the stream, rookie numbers here tonight at 45 cars. Which I'll say it again. You see what I did there? Haha. No, anyways. Moving on. Jason Nauber with an incredible lap time here. The number 27 Noobs RS driver smashing the time charts and just... I gotta admit, Andrew Casey, or excuse me, it's not Andrew Casey, is it? It's, saw it in chat earlier. Jeremy, who is training Jason? But Jason being taught by some of the best out there. Collins, of course, David Collins teaching Jason Nauber the ways here, and he is doing an excellent job of it. It's pole position as it stands. David Collins. Is that what I didn't say that, did I? Said Jason Collins? What did I say? Anyways, David Collins.
And Casey Swanseger is now in the provisional P3 position behind Professor Carnotis, but Zane Blisket is set to set a really good time as he finally comes around Coram through Murray's, keeps it on track. Still maintaining a decent delta. Let's see where it puts him. It's going to put him into P2 ahead of Scott Sullivan.
Beautiful lap. And then Andrew Casey going and showing his stuff at the very end as well. Look at that. These Noobs RS drivers are just smashing it here in the Rookie League. And V asking a very interesting question, but I absolutely love it. Also, really cool hobby, excuse me. But I personally have one of the more generic colognes, Obsession by Calvin Klein. If I do wear a cologne, of course I put on cologne every time I'm in the booth next to Steven so he can smell me lovely every single time. But yes, Calvin Klein Obsession is what I personally use. Me and probably 100,000 million other men in America. But anyways, moving on from men's fragrance and other subjects, why don't we get in here and meet our drivers as once again. It's going to be a great result here, so far at least, from Tony Rodriguez here, who is, well, hold on. We haven't got into it. Okay. Starting here in P1, it's going to be the number 55 driver here, Tony Rodriguez in the AMG. Miles Sewell going to be lining up next to him in P2. Darren Thomas going to be rounding out our row 2 here, starting our row 2 next to George Elmer in P4. The Alpine up there in the ranks. In fact, it's 6 different constructors in the top 6. Ilpo Rautsulainen in P5 in the Bomber Camaro next to Mike Burkhoff in the True Racing KTM. Dan Brace is going to be in P7 in the number 46 Ironman Camaro next to Zuka the Bazooka Vinar in the Audi. Justin Beachley is going to be 9th fastest in the AMG next to Reggie King as well in the AMG to round out our top 10. Alex Shen in P11 next to Tony Danzig, the number 132 Camaro in P12. Jason Nauber is going to be in P1 for the red plates with an excellent qualifying result there from the number 27 Noobs RS driver, lined up next to John Hawley with an awesome Blaze in the Monster Machines inspired livery. It's, of course, his kid's favorite TV show. Luke Nelson going to be in P15 next to Jeremy Cubbage in 16th with a new personal best there. The number 33 Noobs RS team principal, Aaron Miller, going to be lining up in P17. Andrew Casey, 18th overall, second in the red plates. Christopher Laronde, 19th fastest, next to Andre Alex Afonso in the Maserati, rounding out our top 20. Alex Winchester is going to be in P21 overall. Zane Blisket, third fastest in terms of the red plates, P22 overall. Scott Sullivan in 23rd. We have Professor Carnotis, the number 42 T-Swizzle 2022 livery, everybody's favorite out there, in P24. Casey Swanseger lining up in 25th. Adam King is going to be taking 26th position next to Alex Freeman in 27th. Seth Lincoln, 28th fastest, next to Caleb Dimmock in 29th. The number 76 McLaren, Kevin Johnson in P30. Benjamin Bidoff, the Noobs R Us Jr., number 776 in P31, next to Yeager Karu in the AMG in P32. Jeff Dallas, 33rd, next to Devin Anthony in 34th. Mike Patrick, 35th fastest. Alexio Gappa, bringing up P36. Mike Hawk in P37. Stefina Blaskovic in P38. Brandon Mellenbach in P39. Riley Duce in P40. Michael Cortez, 41st. Lizzie Alisea in 42nd. And last, and of course not least, is going to be the Bunberjack AMG, number 43, or excuse me, P43, the number 87 of Monica Swanseeger. Cars are underway as we begin our 2.9 mile outlap here at the Snetterton circuit.
And yeah, we're going to be going through this lovely formation lap. Hopefully these drivers can get themselves a little bit better acclimated to the track. Hopefully we'll see a nice clean lap one like we did the last race.
Welcome, Jonathan, as well as Stefina in chat. Please, no Pantarino. She asks very, very nicely. Let's see. Let's hope that the drivers oblige. No Pantarino from anybody this time around. Energy being given the way of the Noobs R Us drivers. Man, that's less than 100 points of fuel per driver there, David. Awfully greedy of you. As well as energy being thrown the way of Tony Danzig. Tony Danzig in P11 in the War Camaro, which I unfortunately do not have the livery of. As the drivers come onto the Bentley straight, we're going to be approaching the speeds of around 230 kilometers per hour here in the race. On the outlap, not so much. We're going to be approaching speeds of, well, about 100 kilometers an hour, so some fairly pedestrian speeds here on the outlap. And Jacob Church giving energy to all of the Camaro drivers. It's going to be like a whopping 100 points per, or 100 racing fuel. Liters of fuel? We called it liters of fuel. That's what we called it. Got there eventually.
Is that like liter of cola?
I mean, yeah, it's a liter of cola in fuel terms, yes. David, great minds think alike. Not sure I want to think like you, David. Granted, I'm not sure I have a great mind, so we'll see. And there's 7 Noobs R Us drivers? Man, I can't divide 7 from 5. That's way beyond my pay grade.
And here we go. We're coming around Maury's curve.
Yep, through the final corner now. We're going to be lined up 2x2 Noah's Ark formation as we get ready to go green here for the second time. Race 2 of the rookies. I'm Mike Nause in the booth. Joined with me is Steven Tomazic. We got Tony Rodriguez on pole position. Miles Sewell in second. Can he make the challenge here to Tony Rodriguez to avoid that clean sweep from the AMG? We'll see here. It's going to be really tight side-by-side action from P3 and 4 here as we get ready to cross the checkered flag. We go green here at Snetterton for race 2, and it's an amazing start from Tony Rodriguez, side-by-side immediately from Darren Thomas and the Alpine there of George Elmer. George Elmer trying to take it around the outside, and he does just that. Great move there. Mike Burkhoff trying to go around the outside as well, trying to copy from what George Elmer just did. Sticks with it. We see the Audi of Zuka on the outside grass, trying to go for an on-the-grass pass.
Miles Sewell misses his break point and shoots it wide through Montreal.
Managing to hold on, though, to P2. George Elmer trying to pressure him into a mistake. Now Darren Thomas as well, getting pressured from Mike Burkhoff behind. Behind them, Dan Brace side by side with the Zuka, the Bazooka in the Audi. Back in terms of the red plates. Oh, big contact there between That's the KTM of Mike Burkhoff and Dan Brace are both off. There was some massive contact involved there. Most drivers, though, are going to be through safely. We have yellow flags being waved. We see Aaron Miller here getting through side by side as it stands with Christopher, was side by side with Luke Nelson, now under threat from Christopher Larande. We have the Noobs Are Us. There's only one Noobs Are Us. That's not, excuse me, that's not a number. Anyways, contact! Oh no, Larande and Aaron Miller have made contact. Both of them are around. The drivers are through, though. We see cars as well off. That's Winchester in the grass, losing the position. Steven, this has not quite been as clean of a lap one as we saw last time around, has it?
I believe this falls under commentator curse. As I said, let's have a nice, clean first lap. Oh, you hate to see it. But we now have all the drivers coming down the Bentley straight now, going through Brundle, through Nelson. I haven't seen anybody get collected by Nelson's curb yet.
Let's hope Luke Nelson here doesn't collect Jeremy Cubbage, as he was getting awfully close, heading into the final corner now. Off the track goes Jason Nauber. The Noobs R Us red plate has overtaken the Noobs R Us white plate, which is awesome to see. Massive improvements being made. And Tony Rodriguez is in the pits. What has happened to our race leader?
Oh my God, did he get a drive-through?
I don't know. Did he get a drive-through on the start? No picture-in-picture. Did I turn picture-in-picture off? Oh my goodness. How did I forget that? The guys in the truck are slacking today.
I think Tony Rodriguez had a drive-through penalty for jumping the line at the start.
Oh, wow.
So that puts Miles Sewell ahead of George Elmer in P2, with Darren Thomas hot on Elmer's tail, followed closely by Ilippo Ratsalainen.
John Hawley here on the charge towards Justin Beachley as they head in towards the back part of the track through Augie's now on towards Williams. The most crucial exit on the track here, heading onto the Bentley straight where they can make the overtake into Nelson potentially. Thank you, Luca2153, for the follow. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Thank you to everybody for tuning in here, dropping follows, dropping subs, and just being here to chat and say hi. You guys are absolutely awesome, and thank you so much. Oh man, every time John Hawley approaches that sausage curb, it makes me nervous.
Yes, after seeing him almost flip that Camaro at Nelson's last race, I think he's got it in the back of his mind that I need to take that corner just a little bit more carefully.
Oh, man, he seems to not care, to be completely honest. Curbing is optional, of course, in a 4,000-pound Camaro. Well, as you said, though, earlier on we saw that it's not quite optional. We can see a Camaro flipped over like a fish very quickly.
And the Ginetta of Darren Thomas is not there to catch him this time, so he has to be careful.
Professor Chronotis trying to make do here in a sandwich of Noobs R Us drivers. Definitely tough when you have the team orders on the side here where Jason can hold up Chronotis really hard and allow Andrew Casey for a potential overtake. As we see it, though, Chronotis is very calm, very collected, not one to make too eager of an overtake here as we heading into the back hairpin now. Little late on the brakes, though. He's trying to go for the outside line. Better exit, potentially a little bit of bumping and banging mid-corner here as Andrew Casey is going to actually get the overtake on to Professor Chronotis. Alex Afonso joining the party. Chronotis, though, trying to get back what he just lost. Making lunges here, there, and everywhere as he gains really close there into the corner. Onto the back straight we go. A little bit of slipping and sliding for the AMG. That's not going to help the exit. The Maserati onto the grass as well of Alex Andre Afonso. Alex Winchester not too far behind. Zane Bliskett and Mike Burkhoff seem to be trading positions. They're side by side down the Bentley straight, heading in towards the chicane now.
And we have Mike Burkhoff attempting to make the pass on Zane Blisket, but backs out coming into Brundle and Nelson as Zane held on to that inside line going through Brundle and keeps the position away from Mike Burkhoff, who's now on a recovery drive to gain back what he's lost.
Yeah, he has lost quite a bit. 14 positions in the first lap. Mike Burkhoff down to 20th from 6th position. Although he's going to try to make up ground. Seth Lincoln, Tony Rodriguez started in P1. He's down 21 positions. Definitely has the title of the biggest loser in this one. Adam King, though, 13 positions gained for him. That is by far our biggest winner. Nobody else even cresting the double digits just yet in terms of positions gained. A few drivers, though, have in positions lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I believe that is all due to those lap 1 incidents. But we have Tony Rodriguez getting a little bit loose coming out of, what turn was that? Coming out of turn 3. It looks like he might have hit a little bit of the inside curve and sent him out a little wide and got the rear end of that AMG a little bit squirrely.
And closing up rapidly there is Mike Burkhoff onto Zane Blisket. This little train of cars is thoroughly battling away here. We see the 20 car of Brandon Mellenbach, unfortunately, off in no man's land. Excuse me, that's number 69 car of Brandon. And the number 20 car as well having a bit of an issue. Mike Burkhoff in the slipstream, though the KTM lacking in straight line speed, lacking in cornering speed, and lacking in braking. Can he get it done with pure skill alone? The KTM, not the greatest car here in this game. Bumping and banging from the Maserati in front there. Zane Blisket side by side now with, that's going to be Alex Winchester. Alex is going to keep that for now, but Jason Albert comes out ahead of all of that.
And here's another driver who's on a recovery drive. Tony Rodriguez is making his way up through the field, currently P20, now chasing Mike Burkhoff as we watch Zane Blisket go off and unfortunately Tony Rodriguez clips the rear end of Zane Blisket's Alpine.
And loses a few positions and is going to have to all of that hard work undone. He's going to make a lunge on the outside in turn 1, and he is angry after that. Tony Rodriguez not been treated too well in this race. Race 1 definitely went his way. Race 2 not the same, can be said.
All right, so heading back up towards the front of the field, we have Alex Shen in P8 attacking Tony Danzig for that P7 position. As they make their way through Hamilton, coming around turn 6 and turn 7 right now, Alex Shen is keeping pace with Tony Danzig. And I think he might have a good run coming out of Montreal, Williams onto the straight. And I think he does. Does he make the move coming down the straight into Brundle?
Gaining rapidly, he does, tucking off into the inside here. Backs out, though, on the brakes. Maybe going to go to set it up in the second corner. Not going to be able to. Wide goes the Camaro, though, but no, too much curbing for Alex Shen there. Is going to have to wait a little bit longer to set that one up. Elobot, thank you very much for the follow as well. Alex Shen, though, chasing rapidly here, biting at the heels of the Camaro of Tony Danzig here in through Murray's corner. And on to the start-finish straight once again to complete lap 4 here on to lap 5 as we hit the halfway mark exactly. Alex Shen, go ahead.
John Hawley is now making a move on Beachley, coming into Riches. They're staying side by side, heading down the straight towards Montreal. Getting real close, trying to use as much of that track as he can, and I believe John Hawley does make the pass and makes it stick. And Beachley is now under attack. Nelson is now under the attack from Beachley.
No, you're right the first time.
No. Yeah, Beachley's now under attack from Nelson. as Nelson tried to come on through right behind Hawley.
He is right glued to the bumper there of Justin Beachley as we head now towards the Sector 2, or we're already through into Sector 2 rather. The 19 car in the NM. That one is way harder to say than NML or RNL. Why do people got to use so tricky vowels here in their names? LNM car of Luke Nelson. He's going to be chasing down, can't quite see him here from that camera angle, but gaining on Justin Beachley and is not quite there to make the move just yet. Switchback maybe, not going to happen. Tony Danzig up ahead has lost a position to Alex Shen. I'm not sure how that has happened. Maybe a bit of an error. Luke Nelson, though, still on the attack. Riding along here with Luke.
Oh no, Tony Rodriguez is falling down the field as he's gone off at Nelson's and Brundle. And he returns to the garage. I'm going to rewind this and see exactly what happened here. He's coming down Bentley into Brundle. Comes around Nelson's. And he just unfortunately looks like he just came across the nose and spun himself around.
V was watching a chicken nugget commercial. What did you miss? I don't think you missed anything there besides a little bit of Tony Rodriguez ending up off to the side. Missed a couple battles here and there, but they're still going on. I can assure you that. These battles, as soon as one gets the overtake, it does not mean that it's over. Professor Chronotis is going to be trying to get the job done here onto Adam King. This is for P14 overall. Checking with the rookies, which we haven't done in a while. Andrew Casey still leading Jason Auber in second and Seth Lincoln in third. All of these red plates, though, have a white plate separating them from the fellow red plate, which is really probably relieving. Some bumping and banging there between the Camaro and the AMG. No love lost from the 002 or the 04. The KTM of Mike Burkov is quickly joining this party as well.
And Alex Shen finally makes the pass on Reggie King. Reggie King coming out of Williams went a little bit wide, got two tires onto the grass, slowed him down, which allowed Alex Shen to make the pass. Now Reggie King is now under attack from Tony Danzig as they come in through the bomb hole around Corum.
In through the penultimate corner we go. The waste management hopefully is going to be able to bring this one home. Not going to send it to the scrap heap this time. Reggie King, though, actually doing a great job so far, to be fair. 7th position. Last race, not quite as good. I know we had minor doubts, but he has definitely showed us that he is one among the white plates. After being transitioned, he has earned this slot. There's no doubt in my mind, even losing this position. Tony Danzig is a little bit of bumping and banging off into the gravel.
Going through Riches. Oh.
And,
but a good save by Reggie King to keep it on track.
Absolutely. And David, I presume so, yeah. He's just doing it to add a little bit of spice of life. You know, variety is the spice of life. Mike Burkov trying to have a little bit of fun here. Down the inside, Alex Winchester, he's having a good time as he gets the job done onto Adam King. Lick the stamp and send it. And that he does. The duo sent to TV of Alex Winchester is by. Scott Sullivan is really far down the field. P32 for Scott Sullivan. He started in P23, down 9 positions. Aaron Miller is down 14 positions. That was from that incident that we saw earlier, of course, but man, they really came off on a pretty bad end of that one, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Just watch Duce run off the track, but I believe that was self-inflicted. I don't think there was anybody else involved in that. Larondi has fallen off the field as well. He's in P30.
He does have a nice contender to battle with, though, does Laronde. Down in P30, Aaron Miller going to be trying to make up a position here. Scott Sullivan behind them as well. This could be quite the battle.
Adam King coming out of Nelson's gets spun around and is facing the wrong way on the grass. But now he's back corrected, now coming into bomb hole.
Quick rejoin. Luckily, though, nobody was around for that one. As well, we missed it, unfortunately. Aaron Miller is by Laronde. He made that probably look easy, but I'm not sure we missed it. Great job from Aaron Miller up into P30. He's going to be looking up ahead now to Jeff Douglas in the Precision Motorsports #2 Porsche.
And we have Jeremy Kubage attacking Justin Beachley right now. This is for P11. And Beachley is attacking Nelson for P10. We have a three-way battle right now for the final 10th position of the top 10.
For some reason, it went to the different battle. There we go. We also have Alex Winchester chasing down Mike Burkov here. These two have been with each other for a good long while now. But Jeff Douglas, Aaron Miller changing positions as Aaron Miller is by, but deep into the hairpin. He might even lose another position. He takes out Christopher Laronde on rejoin. Oh my goodness, Aaron Miller. We need to catch that one from another angle. Let's take a look here. Helicam. We're watching Aaron Miller making the move, and what a send from about a different 3 postal codes away, give or take. A little bit late on the brakes, and coming back onto the track, does end up making contact with Laronde. Unfortunately, I think Aaron Miller definitely, I don't want to say is at fault, but is definitely not at fault for that one. You hate to see it. You do, in fact, indeed, David. Head back down, though, for Aaron Miller. There's a little bit of race left to go. 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Bit of a wobble from Alex Winchester. That's going to give the position right away to Mike Burkov. Look at that. Ever so opportunistic is Burkov in the True Racing KTM. An awesome car to see out there on track. Probably not the most awesome car to drive, if I had to guess, but Mike is doing an excellent job of it. Seth Lincoln and Casey Swanseeger as well. They're going to be battling along with each other down into the closing minute of this race. Miles Sewell is leading as it stands. George Elmer in second and Darren Thomas in third. We're going to see Seth Lincoln under a little bit of pressure from Zane, not able to get anything done just yet. The run into the first corner is going to be gifted potentially here to the Alpine as the look is there onto the inside. The gap is made. Late on the brakes goes the Alpine. Is he going to be able to stick it? I think it was maybe a little bit too far behind at the start of the turn in there to get that job done. In fact, it puts him immediately under pressure from Kev Johnson behind. And there's three-way contact as Seth Lincoln has been hit from Zane Bliskett. Zane Bliskett gets hit by Kevin Johnson. All the drivers are returning in the position that they came into or that they started at least, or in terms of that incident. And are back on the road, but that could have been absolutely disastrous, Steven.
Yeah, 3 wide coming into that turn is not the best way to go.
Alex Winchester may have been overtaken by Mike Burkov, but I don't think he's done yet. As Mike, 5/10 is the gap. It is gaining. Jeremy Kubage as well gaining on to Justin Beachley here. This is a battle for P11. Luke Nelson has checked out a little bit here, about 1.3 seconds, and gaining Luke Nelson a bit further ahead than Justin Beachley is. Leaders on the final lap, that's going to be Miles Sewell just come across the line to begin their 2.9 mile parade lap here. The white flag being flown for these drivers now.
Yep, and we got Andrew Casey still in P1 for the rookie class, followed behind Alex Freeman and Jason Nauber. But Nauber makes it around Alex Freeman. I think he had went wide and opened the door, allowing Nauber into that P2 position.
Excellent work here from the Noobs R Us Junior driver. Awesome to see. From Noobs R, excuse me, the no longer Noobs R Us Junior driver. I don't mean that was the ex-Noobs R Us Junior driver moved on to the Noobs R Us Works driver and is working his way up to the white plates ever so quickly. You can tell that Jason is putting in the practice hours, no doubt. Jeremy Kubage here, still on the charge. Andrew Casey behind the leader of the red plates. Alex Freeman, though, one to keep an eye on here in the final lap. Although, give a little bit of screen time here, as we have not quite given much to Miles Sewell besides the beginning of this race. Miles Sewell has driven a masterclass, taking full advantage of the fact that the race leader had a drive-through penalty on lap 1, and he has not put a foot wrong since, although Zuka Vinod has put a foot wrong and is going to lose a position at the very end, and he's going slow. He's out of fuel! Zuka the bazooka! I think he is completely out of fuel, and there is no feasible way he is going to make the line. He's going to pull to the side.
Oh, man.
Miles Sewell, though.
You hate to sue it.
You hate to sue it. Miles Sewell to the line, takes the checkered flag, the 503 Aston Martin, the Academy Motorsports, with a great and just a superb drive this time around. George Elmer not too far behind, 1.8 seconds, and Darren Thomas 3.1 seconds to George Elmer. That's going to be our top 3 for the white plates. So we have some side-by-side action to the line here. John Hawley going to be looking to make the move on to Tony Danzig. He keeps it interesting for Tony. Not quite able to get it done, though. Jeremy Cubbage as well. Not able to seal the top 10. Justin Beachley able to keep that from him.
And Andrew Casey comes across the line to take the rookie win. With Jason Nauber coming across the line right now, we'll take P2, and Alex Freeman will be P3 in the rookies.
Incredible racing tonight. Incredible spectacles. If we can get the top 3 from each class to move over into the green room, that would be awesome. Of course, from race 2 only. And we're looking for Miles Sewell, George Elmer, Darren Thomas, as well as the rookies of Andrew Casey, Jason Nauber, and Alex Freeman. If you guys could join the green room if you are around for post-race interviews, that would be excellent. As we have a few drivers that have already made their way over there. And we have here now in the booth with us, or at least soon to be, as we head back over to the booth, we have Darren Thomas and Miles Sewell joining us. And
how you doing?
I'm doing great myself. And Steven, why don't you take this one away?
Yeah, Miles, you kind of ran away with that second race, but that pales in comparison as to what happened in the first race. Tell us about that last lap pass on Tony Rodriguez.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't have even had the chance if he didn't get stuck behind lap traffic coming out of the final corner. When I saw that, I was just focused on maintaining my gap to the guy behind. But when I saw that and I realized I had a chance, I started pushing. And, last lap, I was like, let me stick my nose in here, see if it gives me room. He did, and we fought it out, and I got lucky on the exit.
Awesome stuff, awesome stuff. Darren Thomas, P2. Man, you had a great run this race. Tell us about it.
P2, how'd that happen? I thought I was third.
My timing page updated, so you're P3rd. Tell us about that run, man. You had a great race.
I really have no idea. I felt like I was going to lose the car every single lap. I think I just got lucky.
Well, I think
luck
it's
was definitely on your side.
At a certain level of skill, luck and skill are indistinguishable is one of the things that I've heard. So maybe lucky, maybe skill, maybe a combination of both. But nonetheless, Darren up onto the podium in the Darren Memoji Ginetta. Of course, this is going to be one of the strongest cars on this track. But absolutely awesome drive there, Darren.
Thank you very much.
Very good racing. Andrew Casey, our P1 winner of the rookies.
That never happens. What am I doing here? This is great.
I have no idea. Tell us about it. How did you get into this position, man?
Honestly, my friends have, told me this. My faster driver friends have been like, you know what? You got to be consistent. It is a race, which is hilarious, but it's more of a marathon. And honestly, I was just aiming. I was just like, I got to be consistent because people in front of me are going to get messed up. And just the consistency, and I felt really good. I know everybody says they hate this track. I love this track. I love the way it drives. I love the way the Porsche drives on it. So yeah, just everything kind of went together, and it worked out great. I'm just so excited. I think this is my first pull, I think. So I'm just stoked.
Champagne is already flowing pre-end of the interview, I would imagine, over there for
Yep.
the Noobs R Us team.
Yep.
And we have Jason Nauber.
Hey, good pronunciation. Thank you.
P2 finish in the rookie series, in the
Yep.
rookie class.
My first podium.
Nice.
You and Alex Freeman were having an amazing battle. Tell us
Yeah.
about it, man.
It was pretty intense, back and forth. Like just just for me, just learning this track this week and being sort of new to sim racing, I practiced and practiced and practiced, and then racing with these white plates, it's intimidating, and they gain on me, and I make a little mistake, and they take every advantage of it. So it's vicious. I was like sweating buckets, but I'm definitely happy with how it turned out. So all good. Some hard racing there.
And that practice definitely showing, and it's paying off for you, dude.
Yeah, thank
Great
you.
racing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So thank you for the announcement here. This is wonderful.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here in the booth for the interview, for post-race interviews. And hopefully we'll see you guys again in the next race.
Looking forward to
Absolutely.
Thank you
I
for the
love Bathurst. I'm
commentary.
ready for it.
Great job.
it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You guys are all free to go. And once again, thank you to chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Thank you to Stephen Tomazic for joining me in the booth. You're absolutely excellent. Thank you, Stephen, so much. Of course, thank you, chat, for the subscriptions, all the follows. You guys are absolutely amazing. We wouldn't be here without you, and we wouldn't be here at the quality that we are without you guys, so thank you so much. We are going to be raiding tonight, of course. We are going to be raiding Elo Bot, the man that popped in earlier, going to be driving some ACC out there. Let's go check him out, drop him a follow, and say hi. But just want to say once again, thank you to everybody. I hope you guys have a lovely evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are in this fine world. I'm Mike Nause, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.
And I'm Stephen Tomazic, and I'll see you at Bathurst.
Absolutely. Bye, everybody.